It's a good day, y'all. You know it's going to be a good day when you see me pulling out this mixer. Because this kind of represents cake or bread or something like that, doesn't it? All right, now the first thing, before I even get started, I'm going to get me some wax paper. I'm going to get me some wax paper, and I'm going to, and you can use parchment paper or wax paper. I know I've always got wax paper, so that's what I use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my scissors, and I'm just going to trace around the bottom of this pan. All right, hopefully that showed up enough in the back. So then I'm going to fold it and make sure I got my cuts perfectly together. And then I'm going to see if I can see where my cut is. I'm going to use a spray, y'all, that I'm going to use a spray that has flour in it, because if you don't, pound cakes are notorious for sticking. I have had to make things that I didn't start out to make with a pound cake. You know, like I had to turn it into a trifle or something like that because it stuck. All right, so I just fold it like that and then just come in here and cut out a circle so it'll fit down in that pan. There we go. I have fun with these. So when we get close to having our cake ready, I'm going to spray around the edges of this, and of course the cone part real good, and make sure our cake does not stick. All right, now I'm going to start with 4 sticks of butter. It's just a pound. You know how big a pound is? One of my triplets weighed about this much at birth, each one of them. But this is a good recipe. And you're going to be so surprised to see what in the next 2 videos to follow this one, what it's going to be. So you got to remember to come back in and see what we do with it. So, you know, the first step we're going to do is we're going to cream our sugar and our butter. And this butter is very nice. It's at a very nice temperature. It is room temp. So it's going to be very, very nicely. And I'm going to add the sugar. And then we're going to turn it on. Okay, y'all, it's been 5 to 6 minutes. And I stopped and went around the edges probably 4 times to just make sure it all got in there. So what we're going to do next is add our 4 eggs, 1 at the time. And then we're going to go ahead and add our extracts, half a teaspoon of almond and 1 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And over here in this bowl is our all-purpose flour. And I'm going to add 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt to that. And a little bitty half a teaspoon of baking powder. Oh, no, it was soda, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, baking soda. All right, so I'm just going to take my little blender and just make sure that's mixed together good, and that's ready to go. And we're gonna alternate the flour with the milk. And you always start with flour and you always end with flour. And I'm no scientist, I don't know why, but if your milk is the last thing, it leaves your batter kind of gritty like. Where if it ends with flour, it's nice and smooth. So we'd have to take a science class to find out otherwise. All right, so here goes our eggs one at the time. There we go. Okay, and in goes our last egg. Somebody had a little piece of a broken yolk in it, didn't it? Look how yellow that is. It looks like I put food coloring in it, doesn't it? All right. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And a half a teaspoon of almond. So that my family just loves that almond pound cake that I make. It just is just good. This is a half a teaspoon. Half and half. Oh, and I let it run over just a little bit. I'm so sorry. Not. Because when I'm making a pound cake, I'll usually use 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almonds. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I mean? Remember what I said. Start with flour and end with flour. And this makes adding your flour to that a lot easier. You tend not to get the flour everywhere. What is this? Anything? Those are empty, aren't they? I don't know what those were for.
That was the salt and the...
Oh, yeah, that's right. The salt and the baking soda. Okay, here we go. So you just have to kind of guess, you know. This is the last addition of milk. Because the very last addition is going to be our flour. Come on, do me right. Do me right. Do me right. Oh, it did me wrong. Look, look down there, Eddie. I know people get tired of hearing me gripe about my vision not being able to judge distance, but it is so frustrating. All right, I'm gonna pull this up and scrape down those sides real good. And I'm going to try to get to the bottom because that beater doesn't actually go to the bottom. And so sometimes you'll have a clump of something down there. So I try to get in and stir it all around. Okay. So another minute or so. You don't want to overbeat it though. It can make it tough. So I think that that is good enough. I'm going to slowly try to get the dough out of the blender part so I don't have to do so much digging. Maybe it'll drop off. All right, so we're going to come over here. And like I said, you're going to want to use a non-stick spray that has flour in it. So I'm going to go around the edges in that crack around there because more than likely it won't fit to the edge. Now I'm going to get the tube part. So that's pretty good. Now I'm just going to go around, and you'll want to bring it up high because sometimes the cakes will really rise up good for you, you know. So you even have to kind of prepare for the cake to come up in your little hole up there sometimes. And I'll realize where I hadn't sprayed it good enough. This is sprayed very good. All right, so now I'm just going to put that in because the main thing is as long as the bottom doesn't stick, you're home free because you can always take a knife and go around the edges. This would be a little harder to do with a knife, but that can be done. So just make sure that bottom is going to release from your pan because it ain't a good day if the other happens. Who's been good? Who wants the beaters? All right. Oh, this is a heavy bowl. It's glass bowl. All righty. Looks good, Teresa.
You know, I love a beater.
You love a beater? Well, there it is. It's all yours.
I heard it. I heard you say it while I was doing it.
All right, so I finally got that thick batter in there, and it is thick. And we're gonna bake this. You'll just have to watch it because it may take your oven an hour and a half to get the job done. But if you can slip in there and stick a toothpick down in there and see how it comes out. This is some of the thickest cake batter ever. All right, so you want to get this in the oven, Teresa May? Is the oven heated enough?
It's all ready.
Oh, there you are.
Ready to go.
So, like I said, here's my favorite part. It may take about an hour and a half, and that's on 325. Okay, y'all, now this is the end of the first part of this video. So on the next two videos, I'm going to be showing you what we do with this pound cake. Love and best dishes. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.